the procedure of the procedure for appointing some of these judges are also faulty.
Who appoints them?
Wait, it's faulty. And so some of them, because we are talking about their role.
He's raised a lot of colorations that could.
Their role. We are talking about their role in the fight against corruption. Sir, when you get an appointment sometimes that you do not deserve.
What happened?
When you get an
appointment,
appointment
from doing the right thing.
And is it the fault of the appointee or the appointer?
Like that.
But it's not the executive here.
For purpose of enlightening the public, he's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. And there are so many other lawyers out there who knows what I'm talking about. When you do not merit the procedure for appointing some of those judges, some of them, I'm sorry to say, and I say this with all sense of humility, great responsibility, some of them do not have what it takes to occupy those positions. And so when they get there, they do not even know the enormity of the power that they are wielding. We call them gods. I've said some courts have been turned into a Nollywood drama center by some practitioners.
Who is the director? Who is directing the movie?
By some legal practitioners. And some of those judges do not even have the courage to give orders in their own court.
The third question I raised when I had my introduction to this program was, are judicial officers and judges compromised?
I would say that like every facet of Nigeria, like every facet of
society, I'd like for you to hold your thoughts up because I want you to think deeply about this question.
I have your answer.
It's going to be a yes or a no, maybe.
I have your answer.
We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we're looking at we've asked the question. We want to know if truly or not judges are compromised in this part of the world. It will be an interesting listen. Stay with us. Why is it very difficult to prosecute a corruption case in Nigeria, as we've seen lately? And the president is really worried. He's worried. He's thrown jabs at the judicial processes and systems in Nigeria. And these two gentlemen in the studio have divergent views as far as that's concerned. Abbas thinks the blame should be put on the judiciary. But Yinka thinks otherwise. He thinks these guys are doing their job. You're not presenting them with evidences, and you want them to perform miracles. We need to trash that out. And I asked a question before we went on break. Is there corruption within that system? You judges collect this thing.
Like I said, personally, I've had modest years of experience, not more than a decade and a half. I've never had any situation where I could cast any aspersion on any judge. I haven't been compromised by parties I've been in matters with. However, I've had instances to question rationale behind decisions made by sitting judges and all of that. Now, so this is what I'm saying. First of all,
I'd like for him to respond to that.
I want to align myself with the people of Nigeria.
Oh.
Absolutely. I will not stammer in stating categorically before the entire world that the judiciary and members of the legal profession, some of them are beneficiary of this corrupt, terminally corrupt.
You are the lawyers here. I'm not a member
they
of
are beneficiaries. I will not stammer in stating it categorically that they are beneficiary, they are benefited, they've continued to benefit, and there are some lawyers also, members of the legal profession, who are part and parcel of the rot and the problem we have in this country. We must call a spade a spade. It's not about our stomach. We're told in law school, point blank, that legal practice is not about money alone. We are social engineers. We should be arrowheads of where the society should be going.
Why you will change this position you're holding one day?
How? Where? For those who have known me over the decades, I've remained as constant as the Northern Star.
Oh, yeah?
I will never stammer in articulating any position.
Well, interestingly, like I said, I was going to start by saying that like every facet of Nigeria's system, the judiciary has had its own fair share of whatever corruption is. And I'll tell you, I was discussing with Malana Senior before we came into the studio. They are what do you call corruption? To get anything done anywhere, you probably have to offer some kind of bribe. Bribe is tantamount to being corrupt. If you're having recruitments that do not follow due process or that do not follow the laid down principles of recruitment, that is corruption. So everybody, one way or the other, we also offer gratification. I cannot even say that I can totally exonerate myself from that because I look at them.
Corrupt.
Well, if Buhari was coming out to say that FIRS has questionable recruitment is corruption, that NIS had faulty recruitment is corrupt, CBN had faulty recruitment is corrupt, then all of us will know what corruption is talking about. But if corruption as of today is because he has said, I have never had that kind of thing before in my life, the president coming on national television to say, we will not grant you bail. That is an impeachable offense.
That's going beyond.
It's not going beyond anything. The president has to be told his place.
No, hold on. The president.
It cannot be the executive and the judiciary at the same time.
He's the president of this country, and he deserves to be accorded some decorum in addressing his position.
Which is why you should also understand that there's something called doctrine of separation of powers.
We need to be clear on that.
I'm now saying to you, the president is have you looked at the pledge? Have you looked at his oath of office?
We need to be clear.
Have you looked at his oth of office, sir? Which is even constitutional. If you are saying, excuse me, sir, and this is why you cannot even keep me quiet. Worst case scenario, I may never come back again to be able to state my views. Excuse me. The president, hold on a minute. The president or whoever, excuse me, you still don't want me to talk. The president or whoever occupies the office of the president is as accountable as to the last child of the over 170 million Nigerians. You don't make a mess of the judiciary. It is not done anywhere, sir. It is not. Judiciary, like every other facet of the system called Nigeria, has had its own fair share of corrupt practices or attempts at it being corrupt. I thank God, and my learned senior has answered my question. There are stakeholders who have also contributed to this role. It is now wrong to put it on the heads of the judges. We have the prosecutors who don't gather their evidence properly. I refuse, sir, to say that we have had a slow pace of trial because the judges have not done their job.
Maybe we need to take up some cases.
Please.
Some cases, the president has also vowed that some of these cases that were inconclusive before now will be brought back.
Okay.
Will be revisited.
Okay.
It meant truly that those cases were not concluded well.
Okay.
And they went through judicial processes.
Okay.
How come we have so much of those cases like that?
Okay.
Like the Bola Ige case, several of them that were not concluded in such manner that people are comfortable with. And so that is going to open up again. But before now, it has gone through the process or a judicial process and attempted or assumed closed.
It looks like, even though I can go on first of all, but do you want to go on, sir? But I can go on. First of all, I'll tell you, I read on Facebook just before I came to Channels Television this evening that it wasn't the presidency that said it will reopen the case. It was the police force that said we'll reopen. I don't have anything. Show me. I don't have anything that has a statement from either Femi Adesina or Garba Shehu or even the president himself or the Attorney General of the Federation, who is supposed to be the state prosecuting officer. So I'm telling you, I will not assume that it is the president that said that those cases will be reopened.
That statement doesn't hold. If a case like that needs to be reopened,
yes, sir,
it meant that the initial process
was not
satisfactory.
It meant that the evidence, it meant the investigation. When a judge delivers final ruling on a matter, it's called functus officio. That means it cannot be reopened except appealed. So if you want to reopen, what you want to reopen is investigation.
In the case of, for instance,
it is not the judgment you want to revisit.
Even though it is not completely a corrupt issue. What's happening in the issue of Abia, where you have judgments coming from judges? That's what you're saying.
No, I
will explain to you. On one issue, judges have different 1 million and one interpretations.
Judges are wary of granting anybody bail nowadays. The particular judge I was going to tell you about, I hope I don't go to DSS from here today, but I have my facts. The judge that has said that, and I don't want to criticize judgment, but it's out in the open, and there's a finality, so we can comment. A judge says that a judge should be removed because his tax clearance certificate was faulty. Is that election tribunal now? The same problem that we had in Kogi, we are already having in Abia State.
No, I'm just saying that why do we keep having different interpretation, different judgments?
Judges are being intimidated. Tomorrow, because you don't want to be against Buhari as it is as of today.
So what is the training about? Is your training not meant to make you stand out and stand for what you believe in?
Please,
is that not the